What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream for Thursday's 4-game main slate. James, Thursday, 4 games here. We got the Knicks on a back-to-back here. We have what? The who's else on a back-to-back? The Thunder on the front leg of a back-to-back here. As well. So quick podcast breakdown today. Some good matchups though on the board. You know, for basketball fans at least. Cleveland, Brooklyn should be a pretty good one. OKC, LAC, they're running it back. We just saw this one. Paul George already ruled out with that knee injury. Knicks, Orlando, and Charlotte, Pelicans, New Orleans there at 8 o'clock. Should be some points scored, I think, in that game there.
Charlotte, I'm looking. Charlotte also on a front end, but we never worry about them.
They play 40 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, some fun game environments for a 4-game slate. Knicks are 3.5-point favorites in Orlando, 229 total. The Knicks were just in Miami last night, so not a very. That's like the classic Orlando 2-game set.
Yeah, forward swing, baby.
Let's hope the Knicks were not out in Miami last night. Let's hope they flew to Orlando immediately following.
They could partied it hard in downtown Disney.
You know? I'm hoping they went to Disney and not stayed in Miami. Cleveland, 4-point favorites in Brooklyn. This is definitely the worst game. They're running it right back. We just saw this game the other night. 219.5 total there. Charlotte, New Orleans, 225.5. Charlotte getting 8 on the road. And then the Clippers, also another game running it back. Clippers, OKC, as you mentioned, 233 total, 3.5 points. That game did not live up to 233 total last time.
No.
So let's just give it 233 points again, right, John?
Right.
That's kind of what's happening.
Gotta love the schedule makers here too. So Thunder face the Clippers in LA, have a day off. Thunder face the Clippers in LA. So it's, it's.
Was that how it was for? Let's see. Was that the Cleveland Brooklyn situation too, or was Cleveland in Brooklyn? Let's see. That was Tuesday, I believe.
Cleveland was in Brooklyn. Yeah. Yeah, same thing, guys. Just have a 2-day weekend there in Brooklyn and in LA.
Yeah, perfect. Young guys in OKC in LA for
young guys in Cleveland and New York for
yeah
2 nights.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing can go wrong. So anyway, so that's it. 4 games here. We'll do this one quickly. Top price guys on the slate today. You have Kawhi Leonard at 99, SGA at 96. So it's definitely some roster flexibility.
4 guys over 9K, John. That's it. 4.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, 4 guys over 9K. Paul George out. So definitely some probably value opening up. But they have had some time to adjust to that injury news. So we'll go to it. Point guards. SGA is your top price guard by a lot. $9,600. Clearly coming off this matchup against the Clippers. 31 actual, 44 fantasy points. Don't need to tell you at this point. This man is a monster. They said he's going to play front legs of back-to-back. So shouldn't really have to worry about being limited at all here. And as you and I were talking about it, the Clippers are making a run up the Western Conference playoff rankings right now. So the Thunder are making a run up the Western Conference playoff rankings. It doesn't really make much sense for them to even consider benching their guys at this point here. There's only 10 games left or so. So a little interesting to see how they handle this moving forward.
Yes, you're exactly right. The Thunder have 10 games remaining. They're 8-2 over their last 10 games, winners of 2 straight. They are 36-36. That is currently the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoff picture. The Clippers are 38-35. A win tonight would put the Thunder a half a game back of both the Warriors and the Clippers. They already own the tiebreaker over the Clippers no matter what. I believe without this win, they still own the tiebreaker. The Thunder play the Lakers tomorrow in LA. If the Thunder win both those games, they're literally the 5 seed. Yeah. Like, why would SGA rest either way? All expectation is he plays tonight. He was very good in that game against Clippers the other night. Like, very good from a real, and the peripherals were kind of no steals, no blocks. Like, this guy averaging almost 2 steals a game. There's a lot of upside here. I also think, we're seeing another 230 projection. Vegas is typically right with these kind of things.
Here's what we do know. If the Thunder go down We're going to be betting them live.
Live. Yes.
They were getting 6 points last game. What's their spread right now? What are they? They just won outright. So
3.5-point dogs. But they're also factoring in Paul George in this one. So.
They were getting 6 last game. They went. LA opened the game on like a 14-2 run. Vegas bumped it to Thunder plus 12.5. I hammered that, and then they ended up winning outright. So no sweat at all. In the plus 12.5. That's the beauties of live betting, ladies and gentlemen. If you can find the edge on those teams, you can certainly take it. So
I think SGA Kawhi is going to be an extremely popular pairing.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. But if you go down a little bit, like Russell Westbrook at $7,900 with no Paul George could see more minutes. Again, he got off to a pretty good start in that game. He had like 5 rebounds in the first quarter. But then only 26 minutes, 4 fouls. I don't know how much that had to do with it, but got to think that they would put him out there knowing now that they're down a guy in that rotation. Yeah. So something to watch with Russell Westbrook. But CGM's at 81, Rozier at 82, Dinwiddie at 83, Brunson's at $7,800 against Orlando. That feels like such a great price point for him. Another 25 actual 42 fantasy points for Jalen Brunson last night. Darius Garland's down to 7,200. Like, point guard is pretty strong right here.
Yeah, so the Westbrook thing is interesting, right? 318, they played Orlando. That was the game without Kawhi Leonard. He plays 37 minutes, right? So, that just makes you think that when one of Paul George or Kawhi Leonard are off the floor, like, they're going to go to Westbrook for big minutes because they need his playmaking.
They're still without Norm Powell, too, so...
Right, so without Norm Powell, and honestly, Kawhi's a great playmaker, but Paul George is a better playmaker, right? Like, Kawhi is just so good everywhere. I think they need Westbrook kind of to be their primary playmaker while Kawhi is taking games over offensively. Yeah. So I do think you're onto something here with Westbrook. I like McCollum at 81. I know he wasn't great last game, but 30 minutes.
He still got you 35 fantasy points.
Yeah, still got you 35 fantasy points.
A little less than 5x, but
it's a great matchup.
If it wasn't a blowout, think about it. It was a blowout. 119-84. He played 30 minutes. If he plays 37 minutes like he'd done the last 6 games, like you would have probably gone for 50. So I'm with you there. The 7K range of guys though is just so strong too. Like
Brunson, we talk about how tough the matchup was, but it was always a price point thing with Brunson last night, right? And he was still so good. He's just proving to be just kind of an elite player.
Listen, it's rare that a player gets paid as much money as they do and then pay off the contract. Brunson's paid off the contract, so
yeah, still wasn't an all-star. Don't know how that's the case, but Darius Garland. Hey man, I know he was bad against Brooklyn last game, and I know he can be. That's silly. 7,200 feels kind of.
I agree, because now you need 35 for him to get to 5x, and he can get you 35 at this price point. So.
He has 50. He scored 50 actual in the game 3 straight years. Yeah. He's
Yep. No, I'm with you there. Markelle Fultz keeps playing really well. We love attacking Knicks guards. Cole Anthony on the flip side of that game, another 30 minutes for Cole Anthony, 32 fantasy points. I mean, you and I have been talking about backup Orlando guards for a while now. We couldn't figure out, do we want Suggs? Do we want Anthony? Do we want Suggs? Well, Suggs has been out, and Cole Anthony's been crushing. He's still too cheap. He's not a $5,600 player when he's playing 30 minutes. His usage rate's too high. He takes plenty of shots here, and now you're getting him to contribute rebounds lately, 8, 7, 5, 5, 6. I mean, on the glass, giving you a handful of assists. Lately, a steal in 3 straight games. So, yeah, I think Cole Anthony on a 4-game slate's probably going to be pretty popular if you're trying to look for some value on this one. Him and probably Eric Gordon when we get the shooting guard will probably be a pretty popular play today with Paul George out.
Yeah, I would say so too, because you're looking at who's going to fill those minutes. Terrence Mann, he's in the rotation, but I
think Eric Gordon could play 30 today.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he's been playing 28, 28, 31, 28 anyways.
And he's been starting.
Yeah.
When guys have been out. So I think
absolute disaster performance for him the other day, but
I mean, that's, but now there's no Paul George. Right. He's still and disaster performance. They still trust him with 28 minutes. Yeah. So, hard not to go back to Eric Gordon.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell, by the way, is only $8,400. So
yeah, that's silly. It's the Cleveland pricing is making this very interesting because I do think Kawhi SGA is the most popular pairing, of the slate. But then you look at Cleveland, and you're like, I know Donovan Mitchell hasn't given us 50 in a few games, but then you keep scrolling, and you're like, well, there's 40 and 11 in there against Boston. There's 42 actual against Miami. There's 44 actual against Boston again.
He was 10 of 22 shooting against Brooklyn. He scored 31 actually. He just didn't give you anything else, really.
For a guy averaging a steal and a half a game. Yeah. And I am perfectly fine getting Donovan Mitchell 84. I wouldn't be surprised if he's also the primary pivot off of Kawhi SGA. If you're SGA Mitchell or Kawhi Mitchell, that's the pairing, right? Because 8,400 is stupid.
I'm with you. Oubre keeps playing really well. He's at $7,500. Bridges priced on him to 74. We obviously know this is a tough spot. 9 of 21 shooting against Cleveland last time out, so not really sure if we want to retest those waters. Trey Murphy all the way up to $6,200 for him. Been sitting in the 6K range for a little bit, but not really paying off 6K. So I'm not sure I like that much. I do like Josh Hart. Quickly's fine. We talked about Gordon. Anybody else down here for you?
Yeah, I think this tier is interesting. Quickly's fine, like you said. Josh Hart, same thing. Cole Anthony we talked about. Gordon we've talked about. Karis LeVert, they're just letting play, and he's been awesome lately. These last 6 or 7 games are pretty much all with Mitchell, and they're excluding Mitchell in a couple of them, but
Well, we talked about why Garland and Mitchell maybe haven't had ceiling games lately. And it's because LeVert's sort of having ceiling games at his price, right? So
yeah, and then that's the tricky part, right? Because you're like, oh, well, I could just play Karis LeVert for $3,000 less than Donovan Mitchell, or I could play Karis LeVert for $2,000 less than Garland, and then they have the ceiling game. You're like, oh.
Yeah,
that was what I probably should have capitalized on their price when I could.
Right.
So I like LeVert. There's obviously just a higher ceiling on the other two. So
LeVert's being incredibly efficient. 6 of 9,
he's being
5
incredibly
of 9 shooting. So
I still lean the other two despite price.
Yeah.
Because their price is also depressed. It's not just LeVert 52. Donovan Mitchell's a 9K player. Darius Garland, more often than not, probably appropriately priced at 8K.
Yeah.
They're both too cheap. Yeah. So LeVert's still in play, but
LeVert's probably priced appropriately for his seasonal production.
Correct.
But lately he's giving you 6 to 8x return on what
would you play right now, would you play two of them? Would you play Mitchell and LeVert or Garland and LeVert?
I think as we go through today's slate, we'll see where we land with Gordon and LeVert. We may be playing both of them because Gordon has shooting guard small forward eligibility, which is the goated eligibility. LeVert just shooting guard only, but he is 5,200. Thoughts on Isaiah Joe? Another guy that his minutes have been pretty stable. The shots we'd like to see. More importantly, he's making those shots. He's $4,400. Any interest here in IJ?
Sure. Tournaments needs to make his shots. He's going to play 24 to 28 minutes, and in that time, he's going to take a lot of shots while he's on the floor. So,
Yep. I'm with you there. All right, let's run the small forward where Kawhi Leonard is there at $9,900. Not a good game for him the other day. Just 7 of 16 shooting, 39 fantasy points. But as we've said, no Paul George. Got to think that usage rate on him gets a boost. Brandon Ingram up to 9K. He was 8,600 the other day. Went for 48 fantasy points because he's Brandon Ingram. He's really good. Are you paying the 9K for him against Charlotte today, though?
It's a great spot.
Went for 54 fantasy points against Charlotte in their first meeting.
Yeah, I think this could be. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know what to make of the top tier because we don't have a spend up, right? We have 4 9K guys. That's it. That's our spend up range. Yep. So I don't know how the ownership distribution is going to be. To me, I feel like more people are going to shy away from Brandon Ingram at 9K than Kawhi or SGA, especially with Kawhi sans Paul George and SGA just being who he has been all year.
The perception here is that Kawhi can go for 60 tonight without PJ.
Exactly. And when you look, and then conversely, it's well, Ingram still has McCollum and Valanciunas playing 30 minutes. It's
Yeah,
well,
we'll get the J-Val. J-Val for Charlotte
yeah.
tonight. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And 15 minutes in the way. But like, you can say what you want about those other two. While they have been great, yes, so has Brandon Ingram for 4 straight games. And 3 straight, he's been dominant off. Like, honestly, the shooting has been unreal for Brandon Ingram lately. So, like, it's hard for me not to like him at 9K. There's 50 fantasy point upside in 31 minutes. If this is a competitive game, which, you know, Vegas says it's an 8-point game, New Orleans hasn't been like the best team in the
Charlotte
NBA.
has guys who can't score the basketball. So this,
correct.
You know, they just don't play any defense. So just how long can they hit shots for is Charlotte's problem, right?
Right. So like Ingram feels like a good pivot off Kawhi because like you said, the perception is Kawhi's going to go out and give you 70, which obviously he can. Without everyone, including trades of Kennard and Jackson, no Paul George, Norman Powell, 35% usage, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. That's elite. Those are elite numbers. But it's not like we saw with Dame last night where it was like, and I'm not saying this is apples to apples or whatever, but like Dame was 1.8 fantasy points per minute. That was like, all right, I need to play that. And he went for 60. Is Kawhi going to like 100% go for 60 with, like, I can't definitively say that. I can say this is an elite matchup for Brandon Ingram. I'm okay pivoting from Kawhi to Ingram. I'm okay playing both. I'm just saying like if you're we'll just quick do this. Rank the top 4 guys who you think is going to be the most popular to the least popular. I think Randall is the least popular. So I guess the other 3, like who's the most popular to the least popular?
I think it's going to be Leonard just for the
right, because George is out, right?
George is out. I think you're right. I think it goes Leonard, SGA, Ingram, Randall. Randall is certainly a little bit appealing here against Orlando, but I do think you'll see more people gravitate towards Brandon Ingram tonight.
It's like a double bracket, right? It's like SGA and
I'm not
Leonard.
even assuming Ingram is highly rostered, but I think if you're ranking the percentage of those guys, that's maybe where you go.
I think I agree with you. That would be exactly what I'd say. And it's almost like a tiered thing, like Leonard and SGA and then Ingram. And that's why I think Ingram is so appealing because the matchup and because more people are just going to naturally gravitate towards Kawhi.
Franz Wagner, small forward, only $6,600 coming off yet another
40
game.
minutes.
Yeah. Dude, 37 and 39 the last 2 games for him. Dude, I know. I don't know what it is.
40 minutes, huh?
3 straight games of 20 actual. The assists and rebounds have been pretty solid. 32 plus and 4 straight.
Let's see. Like the only person that was out was Suggs, right? Like Gary Harris was active.
Just a Knicks matchup. He's gonna be running up against Barrett or Randall in this game. So
dude, he sat 3 second half minutes.
Yeah.
He played the first 9 minutes of the game, or the second half, and then the entire fourth quarter.
Well, we talk about it all the time. It doesn't make sense why these teams like don't play the young good guys that they have, right? Like, you drafted him in the lottery last year. What are you not playing him for? Right. Let's get him out there. RJ is up to 6K. Josh Hart 59. Hayward 57. Lou Dort 54.
Barrett for tournaments only. We know that if he's not playing well, Thibodeau does not have a problem benching him and playing him 27 minutes, but he shot the lights out of the ball last game, 41 fantasy points. Yeah. Hayward, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to make of Gordon Hayward anymore. You know, it's tough because like 22 points. The minutes. I know the minutes were great.
Obviously, having Oubre back hurts his shot attempts for the most part. So
yes, he needs to be efficient. I think Dort just matches every minute Kawhi plays tonight. Yeah. Just like we saw. I don't know if I'm going to get there because he's going to be so hyper-focused defensively. Look what happens last game. 3 of 11, just while shadowing Kawhi every step he took. So you can get there if you want, but like 5,400, not a priority for me.
Nope, I'm with you there. I think in this range, I'd play Josh Hart. Eric Gordon, obviously.
Yeah, Gordon. I mean, I'm like so torn on what to do with Hayward. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting there.
You know where I would get, John? Chetty, who even with people back playing like 23 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, but that's so hard to trust.
It is, but look, the minutes have been, and we said it, like the Washington game where he just like doesn't play. We're like, ah.
Yeah, he got in foul trouble, yeah.
But it's like there's not like there's not a lot of value today.
Yeah.
Truthfully. So I could see a scenario where I'm getting to some Chetty just based on looking around the rest of the slate. It's like, well, he has multi-position eligibility. We know he's going to play 18 to 20 minutes. Sure. Can he get us there?
Power forward here. We talked about Kawhi and Randall already. Randall $9,100. Paolo Banchero's at $7,600 here. It's coming up a pretty strong game. 42 fantasy points against Washington. Almost triple doubled. 18, 9, and 8 in that game. Averaging just 34 fantasy points in 2 games against the Knicks. Mobley against Brooklyn. We just saw this one. Jarrett Allen coming back. Maybe has a little bit of an impact on that spot for him there. Jalen Williams at 6,700. Another big time performance for him. Sneaky, maybe rookie of the year candidate popping up. Yeah, I mean, listen, do you think it's Kawhi? Do you think it's Marcus Morris? Like, who's defending Jalen Williams here tonight?
I think it's a mixture of everyone. And again, like, we talk about this all the time. Like, yeah, but then we can get in a pick and roll situation, and then it's like Eric Gordon on Jalen Williams, like 3 straight possessions, depending on what they're doing. So I like Jalen Williams regardless. He was good in this matchup the other day with Paul George playing 30-plus minutes and Kawhi playing 38 minutes. It's a good matchup. 6,700 too. The price is decreasing for a guy that we saw max out at 7,200 after a bunch of 40 and 50 burgers. So,
dude, what I love more is the rebounds.
Yeah, he's so good.
8, 10, 7, 10, 7.
They don't play a big man. Like, he is just, like, by default, like, their big guy. I know they played this Oliver Sarr guy 20 minutes, and Jalen Williams, didn't play. He's in foul trouble.
They didn't start him in the second half. Sarr started in the second half.
So like, they need him to be on the glass, Yeah. So I of that mid tier, I think Jalen Williams is my favorite.
Okay. Value tier, I guess, Marcus Morris at 47.
Yeah, he's gonna play 30 minutes, right?
That's what it is.
Literally his only saving grace is that he's on the floor and he can stumble into more time. With everyone out, I mean, he's a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy. So
Batum did play 24 minutes. He's 3,800.
That could be interesting. Batum playing 34 minutes, like or 24 minutes rather. I mean, that's interesting because we know he can make shots. He just like
he's gonna take like 6 shots, but he could hit 5 of them. So here's my thing, and this is why I mentioned Chetty. Like, I'd rather take a shot on Chetty because I know when he's getting in, he's taking shots. Whereas like Batum, same price, he literally might just get some good cardio in and call it a night. Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's go to center. Top price center, J-Val.
Dude.
Don't even really need to talk about it, right?
Oh, he's so good when he plays.
20 minutes against, but it was a blowout. He's played 20 minutes.
Yeah, but he checked in, John. They were up 30.
Oh, yeah. Checked back.
And he checked in to start the fourth quarter and played 10 minutes in the fourth. Up 30.
Yeah. Crazy.
For no reason. But we talked about this in the last podcast. Larry Nance publicly has said he is not healthy. He is playing through an injury.
Yeah.
And he does not feel good. He cannot play minutes.
Right.
Like, he's playing 8, 22, 14, 12, 15. Like, if he is injured, they're not playing Hernan Goat. They're not playing Jackson Hayes. They're just going to play Valanciunas unless he fouls out.
All right. Yep. No, 100%. Nick Claxton, 28 minutes. It was a tough matchup for him. I don't know why pay 6,800 when Valanciunas is 71, right? Like, is there an obvious play for you? Like, Zubac's only played 19 minutes in that game for whatever reason. 4 fouls, I get it, but like 19 minutes, that's it. That's all you got. Plumlee had a double-double, I think, in that one. 20 minutes, 6 and 12, I guess. Like, what happened? Zubac goes from playing all these minutes to playing none of these minutes.
I think it's the more athletic Plumlee versus a team not playing a traditional center.
Okay.
In OKC, which is here we are again.
Right.
I do think there are 2 really good center plays outside of Valanciunas. Jared Allen,
Yep.
63 is stupid. That's stupid. I'm just gonna say it. Stupid.
Yeah, 5 fouls in that game too, and he still played all the minutes. So.
And Nick Richards, if this game is gonna stay competitive and he's gonna play 20+ minutes, they just gave him a contract extension.
Yeah.
The last 3 times look at the last 4 times that Nick Richards played 26 minutes. 42, 42, 32, 33 fantasy points, 3 double-doubles, fell short by a point and a rebound in the other one. Like, if he stays out of foul trouble and the game's competitive, he's putting up big numbers. And he's only 5K. Like, he scored 40 fantasy points. So, like, you know what would be a good idea? Let's actually decrease his price tag.
Right.
I think that's a good plan. Like, what are we doing? So, I think Allen, Richards, both elite if you're not playing Valanciunas. There's legit 3 centers that, like, could go for, 40 fantasy points tonight at, like, stupid price tags. So, I don't know if you would play anyone else. Like, I know you have Mitch Robb is like your second favorite player in the NBA.
No, there's somebody else down there.
But Hartenstein, he only played 19 minutes. Would you play Oliver Sarr, who played 19 minutes last game?
No, I feel like that's too hard to trust.
He played 16 minutes against Toronto and then 19 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't feel any good.
Too difficult to trust there. All right, so let's see here. Just kind of playing around some builds. It is definitely difficult
because there's no value
to get to. Yeah, because of the value to play 2 bigs. Like I'm stuck, and this is just with the current build that I have.
Let me guess. You have Kawhi, SGA.
Actually, I got it. I lied. We're good.
Kawhi, SGA, Valanciunas.
We got it. Cole Anthony, Eric Gordon.
Anthony has.
I kind of like Cole Anthony.
I do. I think so too. I think he has the higher ceiling.
All right, so this is the lineup I built. You let me know what you think. SGA, LeVert, Chetty, Marcus Morris, Valanciunas, Cole Anthony, Brandon Ingram, Nick Richards.
Chetty, Valanciunas. Who is the guard?
The guard is Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony.
If I was to do it by price point instead of just the way I just threw guys in there, SGA and Brandon Ingram are 2 spend ups.
Yep.
Valanciunas at $7,100, and then it's Cole Anthony, Karis LeVert, Nick Richards, Marcus Morris, Chetty Osman.
Oh boy!
Like, we know Morris is gonna get the minutes, right?
That's the thing. The only reason he's at all in this lineup is because he's playing minutes.
He's gonna get minutes. And now there's no Paul George, so there's a potential that he even contributes a little bit more than he has.
He is a 0.7 fantasy point per minute.
He's kind of been washed, but
he is definitely washed.
I mean, there's not much else.
And he also could get thrown out of this game.
He could also.
There's also a chance he gets thrown out.
That's true.
So if we went. Here,
I don't know. I don't know if you want to plug this in and you can visualize it yourself, or if there's any pivots you want to make. There's no salary left over, in this lineup either. So,
I just did something.
Sure.
That I'm messing with, and all I did was I went. So I got something.
Okay.
Now you hear. Okay. So I pivoted, and I don't. If we want to stay in Valanciunas, we can.
Sure.
All I did was I pivoted down to Jared Allen. I moved Chetty to power forward, Ingram to small forward, and it got me Eric Gordon. So essentially it was...
Eric Gordon over Marcus Morris, basically?
It was Jared Allen and Gordon versus Valanciunas and Morris. Yeah. Okay. Eric Gordon, Allen versus Valanciunas, Morris.
I'm fine with that. 100%. 100% okay with that.
I mean, like, obviously, we lose out on Joe Val, but, like, doesn't it feel like Jared Allen has, like, similar. Not, I guess Valanciunas probably has the ceiling because like he's.
Yeah, Valanciunas against Charlotte could go for 50 tonight.
Allen could get us 40.
Could get us 40
because he's gone for
perfect world. I guess 40. I mean, like 12 points, 14 rebounds against Brooklyn last
36.
game.
Yeah,
it's kind of
weird. But we're happy with 36 at
I feel
6,300,
like,
right?
If Eric Gordon goes and outscores, Marcus Morris by like 10, then sure.
So here's the split. Okay, Marcus Morris without everyone there for the Clippers has an 18.5% usage, is a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon, half the sample size, but 80 minutes. So, 23% usage rate, 0.94 fantasy points per minute. So almost 0.2 over 0.2 fantasy points a minute higher. I just feel better. Like, I'm not saying Marcus Morris isn't in play, but he was much more in play when he was 36 and 3,900 the slates prior.
Totally cool. Like I said, I'm good with Eric Gordon. That's fine. Okay. No problems getting there for me. So yeah, I like that. SGA, Karis LeVert, Brandon Ingram, Chetty Osman, Jared Allen, Cole Anthony, Eric Gordon, Nick Richards in the lineup. $200 left over. Obviously, as any injury news comes out today, we'll have it in the Discord. I'm on your playbook, so that will be out shortly. If you have any questions, find us there. Good luck. Talk to you guys on Friday.